American Top 40. Number 28.
Here's a singing group that's been together all their lives. Ruth, 27, Anita, 25, Bonnie, 23, and June, 19. They're the Four Pointer Sisters from Oakland, California. Second week in the chart, now at 28 with Yes We Can, Can. Second week on American Top 40, moving up 6 notches to 28. It's Yes We Can by the Pointer Sisters.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Now it's time for the current hit by the sister group from Oakland, California, who, when they were struggling up the success ladder, bought their clothes in thrift shops in the 5 and 10. And now that they're one of the hottest new acts in show business, they still buy their clothes in thrift shops and the 5 and 10. When the Pointer Sisters were scrambling for small club dates and backup recordings, they hit on the idea of going for the image of the 30s and 40s. You see, it was fairly inexpensive because local thrift shops in Oakland had just those kind of clothes on their racks. So, the girls' music and their costumes smacked of yesteryear. After playing the Troubadour in Los Angeles just a few months ago, they shot right up to stardom with super bookings and a lot of network TV shows. The Pointer image was well established, and even though a lot of their costumes are specially designed for them, they're patterned after those old-fashioned duds. And they still buy from secondhand stores and the 5 and 10. Yes, we can. The Pointers took that record all the way to number 11. The Pointer Sisters now at number 25 with Yes, We Can.
Coast to Coast.
Well, now on American Top 40, it's time for the current hit by 4 girls who just a year and a half ago were doing backup work for people like Dave Mason and Tower of Power and Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. The 4 girls are all sisters, and they work out of their hometown of Oakland, California. Now, while they were gaining popularity in the business as a first-rate backup group, they weren't exactly on their way to fame and fortune. And then, fate stepped in and turned their lives around. They got a call from the Troubadour. That's a popular nightclub here in Hollywood. They got a call to substitute for a singer who had to cancel at the last minute. Well, looking back on that date, Sister Ruth says, "We didn't even know how to give a show. But it was Judgment Day. We just shook everything we could shake." Well, their debut at the club was a smash, and they've been busy ever since playing major clubs and many network television shows. Their current single is their second chart hit, and it's up to number 20 this week. Here are the Pointer Sisters and Fairy Tale. The Pointer Sisters at number 20, moving up 6 with Fairy Tale. 19 hits to number 1 and counting them down.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Here now is the third top 40 hit for 4 sisters out of Oakland, California. Today they make their home across the bay in the resort town of Sausalito. Their third big hit is already number 1 on the Billboard Soul Chart and moving up on American Top 40. Talking about the Pointer Sisters and How Long? Bet You Got a Chick on the Side. At number 29 in the countdown on American Top 40, third week on the chart, the Pointer Sisters with How Long? Bet You Got a Chick on the Side.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
6 years ago, the Pointer Sisters first hit the chart as a very talented novelty act. Their gimmick was sounding and looking like a funky version of the Andrews Sisters. And when that gimmick wore thin, the Pointer Sisters dropped out of sight. But they came back in 1979 with a little help from super producer Richard Perry. He gave them their own sound, a hot one. As the new Pointer Sisters, their first hit was a number 2 smash. It's at number 15 in our special year-end retrospective. Here's Fire. At number 15 in our countdown of the year's biggest hits, Fire by the Pointer Sisters. These are the top 50 records of 1979. I'm Casey Kasem on American Top 40, and our countdown of the 50 top hits of the year continues.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Now we're up to the female vocal group who once found themselves stranded in Houston, Texas with no job, no money, and no way to get home. So, like the character Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire, they had to rely on the kindness of a stranger. And it became the biggest break of their career. In the early 70s, this group of sisters had left their hometown of Oakland, California, where things weren't happening for them. They went to Houston, where they'd heard there was a lot of work. Well, things didn't work out that way, and soon they found themselves jobless, out of money, and stranded in Houston, 1,600 miles away from home. They began to panic. They couldn't call their parents because their folks had long been opposed to their show business career. So they tried a long shot. These sisters called a man in San Francisco whom they'd met only once, very briefly, a stranger really, a top record producer and artist manager named David Rubinson. They explained their predicament, and it touched a chord in David Rubinson. Without hesitation, he sent the girls plane tickets back home to the Bay Area. When they returned, David Rubinson took over management of their career. He had them join the Musicians Union, got them jobs singing backup, and developed their act. Within 2 years, these four sisters, the Pointer Sisters, had their first hit records, thanks to producer, manager, and benefactor David Rubinson. A decade later, and now a trio, the Pointer Sisters have gone through some changes, including different record labels and different management. But they'll never forget how David Rubinson came to their rescue and helped launch their career. The Pointer Sisters are at number 19 this week on American Top 40 with their 11th Top 40 hit. It's called Automatic. A big dance chart hit went to number 2, went to number 5 on American Top 40 3 weeks ago. This week it falls 10 notches to number 19. Automatic from the LP Breakout by the Pointer Sisters. 18 big ones to number 1 as the countdown rolls on.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Well, 2 years ago, Bonnie Pointer left her sisters, the Pointer Sisters, to go it alone. This week, she hits the 40 for the first time as a solo act. At number 39, the first of 5 debuts. Bonnie Pointer and Heaven Must Have Sent You. Bonnie Pointer debuting at number 39 with a remake, Heaven Must Have Sent You.
The hits from coast to coast.